Newly elected Pakistan government of Prime Minister Imran Khan will review its role in China's Belt and Road Initiative and renegotiate a trade agreement signed more than a decade ago, UK Daily citing Pakistani officials report. A special court decides to hear high-profile treason case against former President Pervez Musharraf on daily basis. The court also hinted at pursuing case hearing in absence of Musharraf. The court also orders the Interior Minister to submit written report regarding Musharraf's return. Chief Justice of Pakistan, Justice Mia Saqib Nisar, says the most important judicial order issued during the last year was regarding the building of large dams. The Chief Justice says Pakistan has deviated from the vision of its founder, Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Lahore High Court withdraws a contempt notice issued to MNA Ehsan Iqbal. The former federal minister was let off with a warning after tendering a written apology that the court accepted. The Governor's house in Lahore will be open to family tours on Sunday. Governor Chaudhry Mohammad Sarwar tells media the Governor's house is public property. He says all state-owned buildings are national assets. Foreign Ministry cancels diplomatic passports of former Finance Minister Ishaq Dar and his wife and submits its report to the Supreme Court. Foreign Ministry says it is not legal for Ishaq Dar to keep diplomatic passports after relinquishing charge of the Finance Minister. Pakistan cricket team captain Sarfaraz Ahmed says that team's morale is high and they will perform well in the upcoming Asia Cup. Sarfaraz says the team will collectively donate rupees 3.2 million as each player of the squad will donate rupees 0.2 million to fund established for construction of dam. A suicide car bomb rammed into a local government office in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, on Monday, killing at least 6 people in an attack claimed by Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab. Nationwide protests against record high petrol prices and diesel prices shut down businesses, government offices and schools in many parts of India on Monday. And in some places, protesters blocked trains and roads and vandalized vehicles.
Cigarette spells. But that last 1%, that's up to you.
I don't want the creepy little runt. Think I want him?
And Hollywood fantasy film The House with a Clock in Its Wall will hit the cinemas on September 21st. Story of the film revolves around a boy and his uncle who are trapped in a mysterious world. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. A very warm welcome to 92 News HD. My name is Faik Mahmood. Starting off with the top story today, the government of Prime Minister Imran Khan will review its role in China's Belt and Road Initiative and renegotiate a trade agreement signed more than a decade ago. Financial Times Daily reported on Sunday, citing senior Pakistani officials.
Razak Daud, the advisor to Prime Minister, claimed on Monday he had been quoted out of context. He said a detailed response will be issued today. The FT report said the ministers and advisors of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf government said the agreement unfairly benefits Chinese companies. The previous government did a bad job negotiating with China on CPEC. They did not do their homework correctly and did not negotiate correctly, so they gave away a lot, the Financial Times reported. Quoting Daud, Prime Minister Imran Khan's advisor on commerce, textile, industry and production and investment. The report said Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, who visited Islamabad at the weekend, indicated that Beijing could be open to renegotiating its 2006 trade deal with Pakistan. However, Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi assured his Chinese counterpart that the new government considers CPEC a project of national importance for Pakistan.
Chief Justice of Pakistan, Justice Mia Saqib Nisar, said on Monday the most important judicial order issued during the last year was regarding the building of large dams. Speaking on the occasion of the start of the new judicial year, the Chief Justice said Pakistan had deviated from the vision of its founder, Muhammad Ali Jinnah. He said injustice and poor governance plagued to the society.
Addressing a full court reference on the occasion of the start of the new judicial year, the Chief Justice said it was wonderful to see people donate for the dams. He said there was a need for the judiciary to aim higher in the new judicial year. The Chief Justice regretted that frivolous cases were still being filed and delaying tactics used by litigants. He said the provision of justice was a responsibility of the state. The Chief Justice said Pakistan has deviated from the vision of its founder Muhammad Ali Jinnah. He said injustice and poor governance threatened the society. Justice Nisar said rule of law and transparency were key to social justice. Attorney General Anwar Mansoor Khan too addressed the reference. He suggested that the courts impose heavy fines for filing of frivolous cases. Khan said there should be deadlines for all court cases. He said judicial reforms were the need of the Attorney General said 36,201 cases had been filed with the Supreme Court of Pakistan this year. Of these, he said 28,970 had been decided. Mansoor said Pakistan ranked 106th among 113 countries.
And the Governor's house in Lahore will be open to family tours on Sundays. It was announced on Monday.
Governor Chaudhry Muhammad Sarwar told the media the governor's house was public property. He also said all state-owned buildings were national assets.
ये जो सरकारी इमारत हैं, ये हमारी कौम का असासा है. इसकी मलकियत जो है, वो पाकिस्तान के अवाम है.
Sarwar said the governor's house will be open to citizens from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. He said the governor's house in Murree too would be opened for the public.
क्रिटिसिज्म है, उसको भी हम इंशाल्लाह वो अपनी मुखालफत में नहीं लेंगे, बल्कि हम समझेंगे कि अगर आप हमें क्रिटिसाइज करते हैं, हमारे कुछ फैसलों से डिसएग्री करते हैं, तो हम उनको पॉजिटिव सेंस में लेंगे.
The Sindh governor had announced a similar policy in Karachi on September 7. Initially, he said tours will be open only to families.
Lahore High Court on Monday withdrew a contempt notice issued to MNA Ehsan Iqbal. The former federal minister was let off with the warning after tendering a written apology that the court accepted.
A three-member bench headed by Justice Syed Mazhar Ali Akbar Naqvi heard the case. The petitioner had said Iqbal had used irreverent words for judges. Advocate Azhar Siddique, the counsel for the petitioner, said the Pakistan Electronic Media Regulatory Authority had the mandate to ensure contemptuous speeches did not go on air. As the hearing got underway, Justice Masood Jahangir remarked that the respondent was no longer a part of the government. Justice Mahmood observed that the new government could not be expected to improve things in no time. Justice Naqvi told Iqbal as a political leader he should strive to be a role model. Iqbal promised to be more careful in the future. He also said he was grateful to the court. Justice Naqvi also advised Iqbal to focus on positive contributions and not oppose the new government for the sake of opposition.
Ireland's Senator Gerard P. Craughwell has extended best wishes to the new government in Pakistan and felicitated Prime Minister Imran Khan and President Arif Alvi. The senator said he hoped for a new era of Pakistani-Irish relationship.
Yes, right now here we are with Senator Gerard in Irish Parliament, and he is here to give us some of his opinion and his thoughts about Pakistan, and he would like to give us some message for Pakistani newly elected government that how Pakistan and Irish government they can work together. Senator.
Good afternoon and thank you for being here. Yeah, I'm delighted there's a new government in place. It's extremely important. The important thing now is for us to build relationships with the Pakistani government. Pakistan is a country that I have a huge interest in. In Ireland we have a very, very strong Pakistani community, and if you look, apart from journalists like yourself, we have many, many highly qualified consultants, doctors, engineers, IT specialists. Pakistan has so much to offer the world, and I'm delighted that we have managed to attract so many. Indeed, my own cardiologist was a Pakistan doctor, trained in Pakistan. Wonderful guy, wonderful guy, works over in Tala Hospital here in Dublin. And in my time in teaching, so many of your people came to Dublin to polish up on, I suppose, more their English than anything else, but they came into technology jobs. And I would think a massive number of our IT jobs are held by Pakistanis. The next step now is to build a friendship group between the Irish Parliament and the Pakistani Parliament. We need to have these friendship groups where members of the Irish Parliament can go to Pakistan and members of the Pakistani Parliament can come here. It's only by building relationships and getting to know one another, putting out the hand of friendship.
So, Senator, will you be ready to go to Pakistan?
Absolutely. I travel to Pakistan in the morning, so we really need to build relationships. That's what Pakistan is, a massive, massive market, and Europe has to be looking at Pakistan, and in turn, Pakistan has to be looking at Europe. We've got to build relationships. It's a very small world. We're only a couple of hours from each other. So let's try and do that. I would welcome anybody from the Pakistani Parliament who wants to contact me, and my details are up online if anybody wants to contact me and establish a friendship group. I will put the wheels in motion here to try and get that started, because I think that's important. Politicians should be talking to politicians.
Thank you so much, Senator.
You're welcome.
British government said on Monday that those involved in a nerve gas attack on former Russian spy and his daughter, who would be apprehended as soon as they left Russia. Home Secretary Sajid Javid told the media that two people involved in Salisbury attack belong to a Russian secret agency. He said that they have arrived in London from Moscow on March 2nd. Javid said the nerve gas attack on the Russian spy and his daughter was carried out on the directives of the Russian government. The Home Secretary said they would be apprehended the moment they left Russia. Unidentified people had attacked former Russian spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia with the nerve agent on March 4th. They had both survived the attack. A 31-year-old British tourist was seriously injured at a Spanish resort on Monday in a knife attack. Police said the tourist was stabbed at around 2 a.m. Unidentified men stabbed the British tourist 6 times as he came out of the resort called Golf. The police have yet to disclose the identity of the tourist. There are reports, however, that he belongs to Scotland Police and said 4 suspects had been taken into custody. Hospital staff said that the injured man remained in a critical condition. A judicial inquiry has been launched into the killing of 5 people in Westminster attacks on March 22, 2017. Kurt Kochran, Aisha Fred, Anida Tristy, Keith Palmer and Leslie Rhodes were killed in the attacks carried out by a terrorist named Khalid Masood. Police had shot Masood dead on the spot. The judicial inquiry being conducted at Old Bailey will continue for 5 weeks. An investigation into the Khalid Masood will follow later. The inquiry will also review the measures adopted to preempt terrorist attacks. An Ibiza-bound flight from Manchester was diverted to France on Monday to provide medical aid to a British citizen who later died at a hospital from a cocaine overdose. The British citizen, who has not been identified as yet, was traveling to Spain's Ibiza island on plane. When his condition deteriorated, the plane was diverted towards France to get him medical treatment. He was taken to a hospital after the plane landed but did not survive. Witnesses said the flight staff and caught the man consuming cocaine Fearing arrest, he gulped the entire amount he had on him. Trade union leader Francis O'Grady on Monday demanded work be limited to 4 days a week to share the advancement in technology. O'Grady said advanced technology had made a 4-day work possible. She said workers' wages could be increased and duration of work could be reduced. She said during last century, workers' unions had demanded an 8-hour workday. However, in view of rapidly advancing technology, working hours needed to be curtailed. More news stories lined up right after a short break. Keep watching 92 News. Paris police were at the scene of a knife attack on a busy canal side lined with bars and restaurants in the early hours on Monday, September 10th, investigating the stabbing, which injured 7 people. 4 people were seriously wounded in the incident carried out by a man who appeared to be of Afghan origin, armed according to the media reports with a knife and a metal bar. Investigators said that the attack was not currently being treated as a terrorist incident. Saud Al-Hawaki, an educationist, has been elected a member of Bahrain's parliament. Al-Hawaki says she considers Imran Khan her role model and is determined to serve her nation selflessly. Here is what she said.
I've been working for Bahrain and in Dubai and internationally, and I have so many degrees and certificates and experience, and I think I can manage to make some changes in the country. This is a first-time thought for myself to get into politics, because I was always just focusing on the education field and on the financial matters. But I feel because of my experience, I can actually make a change in pushing for the health side in the country and pushing for promoting the education, the higher education and improvement in outcome in my country as well. And this way we could actually improve the lives of the constituency, which is my constituency, which consists of about 15,000 people. So these are the number of people I'm going to look after when I run to the parliament.
Since you are working with Pakistani people as well, and you have seen the new change in Pakistan as there is a new government, so what are your views about the new government?
I followed the World Economic Forum as well, and they put a story which I really loved, that one person took it upon himself to improve the environment by growing trees. And that's something that actually inspired me. And I feel that this person has been inspired by Imran Khan himself, because Imran Khan is all for having a better country, better people, more robust institutions working there, and changes in general is really good. And I think because of his background, you know, he's a team builder. He worked in cricket, he worked in international fields, and he knows that without having that team behind him, he can never do anything. And that's the good thing, because other people, when they go, they want to be on their own. But I feel that he wants other people to come and support and be with him to build Pakistan.
When are you going to visit Pakistan and wish him personally?
I will wish him when I become a member of the parliament. That way I could see him actually, okay, which I hope it's going to happen soon.
Category 1 Hurricane Florence gained strength on Sunday, September 9th in the central Atlantic and is expected to turn into a major hurricane by Monday night as it churns over the open oceans and heads toward the U.S. East Coast, the U.S. Hurricane Agency said.
Florence was about 685 miles southeast of Bermuda as of 11 p.m. on Sunday, packing maximum sustained winds of 90 miles per hour. The Miami-based forecasters said the hurricane could make landfall possibly as a Category 3 or higher on the 5-step Stafford-Simpson scale.
We're here to help. We do have our associates that a lot of them are experts on this kind of hurricane awareness that have been here for 20, 25 years. That can really assist our customers and really get them what they need.
In South Carolina, residents shoveled sand into bags provided for free by the city of Charleston as Florence heads towards the Carolinas later this week. Further down the coast in Savannah, Georgia, residents rushed to home improvement stores to buy generators, water and plywood to board up windows.
In case I might have to make a quick getaway, I got a full tank of gas and I'm ready.
Drivers in Raleigh, North Carolina filed up their gas tanks as a precautionary measure in case Florence knocked out gas pumps and caused gas prices to increase once the storm passed. Florence is expected to approach the southeastern coast of the United States on Thursday, possibly near the North Carolina-South Carolina border. According to maps of the storm's trajectory predicted by the NHC, storm force winds could begin buffeting the Carolina coast by Wednesday night, the NHC said.
The United Nations aid agencies are gearing up for a possible all-out Syrian-Russian assault on Idlib that could provoke the worst humanitarian catastrophe of the 21st century, but must be averted, the top UN aid official said on Monday.
Some 800,000 of the 2.9 million people in the rebel-held province could flee in an exodus sparked by a major battle, UN Emergency Coordinator Mark Lowcock said.
There needs to be ways of dealing with this problem that don't turn the next few months in Idlib into the worst humanitarian catastrophe with the biggest loss of life of the 21st century. You know, we had the tsunami in 2004, which killed 250,000 people, roughly. We had the atrocious famine in Somalia in 2011, which killed another 250,000 people. We must, it's not acceptable to have huge loss of life in Idlib over the next period.
Russian and Syrian jets resumed intensive strikes in Idlib and Hama on Sunday, residents and rescuers said, as Damascus stepped up its assault on the rebels' last major stronghold after a Russian-Iranian-Turkish summit failed to agree a ceasefire.
Yeah, we're actively, very actively preparing for the possibility that civilians move in huge numbers in multiple directions. And obviously one of the central things is whenever people feel their lives are just under threat to a terrifying degree where they are and of their own volition start marching down the road, they need protecting. And then they need help wherever they end up. And so we're preparing for multiple routes of exodus, and we're absolutely thinking about the routes that people might choose, and you know there's lots of them, and thinking about how they would be supported.
UN Special Envoy Staffan de Mistura began 2 days talk in Geneva on Monday with officials from Russia, Iran and Turkey, ostensibly on forming a constitutional committee in Syria, but which were expected to be overshadowed by the Idlib crisis.
And a suicide car bomb rammed into a local government office in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, on Monday, killing at least 6 people in an attack claimed by Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab, which is fighting to topple the government and establish its own rule based on its interpretation of Islamic law, said it was behind the attack following a loud blast that triggered huge clouds of smoke. Relatives visited the scene and one young woman collapsed to the ground crying when she came face to face with her mother's body. Last week, a suicide car bomb destroyed another district office of Mogadishu. Nationwide protests against record high petrol and diesel prices shut down businesses, government offices and schools in many parts of India on Monday, and in some places protesters blocked trains and roads and vandalized vehicles.
Gearing up for a general election less than 9 months away and provincial polls expected in some states later this year, opposition parties banded together to organize their first protest action in a joint campaign to stir discontent with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Hindu nationalist government. Opposition Congress Party activists marched, blocked roads and disrupted trains in the eastern Indian state of Odisha, while other opposition parties protested outside offices of oil marketing companies. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi blamed the high fuel prices and a falling rupee currency on the Prime Minister's policies. In northern Jammu city, protesters burnt tires and blocked traffic. In eastern Patna city, protesters staged a unique protest by holding motorbikes over their shoulders and raised anti-government slogans. Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party accused its opponents of unnecessarily politicizing high fuel prices and the weakening currency, which it blamed on external factors such as Turkey's economic crisis, which affected emerging markets.
More news stories lined up right after a short break. Keep watching 92 News. Miss New York Nia Franklin was crowned Miss America 2019 on Sunday night, beating out 50 contestants in an annual event that in 2018 sought to rebrand itself following to the hashtag #MeToo movement.
Franklin received her crown and sash from last year's winner, Cara Munt. Miss Connecticut Brigitte Oey was named first runner-up. The nearly century-old competition made news earlier this year after it announced that it would drop its well-known swimsuit competition this year and would no longer judge contestants based on their physical appearance.
Brigitte Oey, Connecticut, which means Nia Franklin, New York, you are Miss America 2019. Congratulations.
Organizers said the event, founded as a swimsuit beauty pageant intended to draw visitors to Atlantic City at the end of the summer, would no longer call itself a pageant in a bid to modernize its image at a time when the Me Too movement has shown a harsh light on pervasive sexual discrimination and harassment in American life.
After launching the film triumphantly in Venice, Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper brought their remake of A Star Is Born to Toronto Film Festival on Sunday.
The film, which tells the story of Ally Lady Gaga being brought off her shell by famed musician Jackson Maine, has had rave reviews with many critics praising Gaga's performance. Speaking on the red carpet of the Toronto premiere, Lady Gaga said,
"I've always wanted to be an actress, and this is more than I ever could have imagined, but I really love the process more than anything. I don't do it to be famous. I do it because I love art, and I want to be a part of projects where art touches people's lives. The story that Bradley wrote with Will Fetters and Eric Roth is beautiful, and it pays homage to the last 3 films that came before it, and I am just so proud to be here. I feel so honored and so grateful and humbled. I'm just a girl from New York that couldn't get an audition, and here I am."
There appear to be parallels between Lady Gaga's own career and that of Ally, who she plays, although Gaga denies that, saying,
"When I was younger, I was so insecure, and I was bullied in school, and I didn't believe in myself. But when I turned 19, I decided that I wanted to be a musician, and I hit the ground running, and I was pounding the pavement in New York City, banging on every door to get a job to sing anywhere that I could. And the difference is that Ally, in this film, she has completely given up on herself, and it is Jack's belief in her and his love for her that brings her to life."
There is a role reversal in the film, as Bradley Cooper had never performed in front of a huge live audience such as Glastonbury, whereas Gaga had only done limited acting. The film marks Bradley Cooper's directorial debut. A Star Is Born goes on release in US cinemas on October 5.
Hollywood fantasy film The House with a Clock in Its Wall will hit the cinemas on September 21st. The story of the film revolves around a boy and his uncle who are trapped in the mysterious world.
You're Lewis, I presume. How was your trip?
This old hag is my neighbor. Teach you the right spells. But that last 1%, that's up to you.
I don't want the creepy little runt. Think I want him?
That's all from the news studio. For more details, you can surely visit our website 92NewsHDUK and keep watching 92 News.